Once upon a time, there were two little kids. They lived in a wooden house at the edge of the city, right beside a big forest. The little boy was named Ben. The little girl was named Bella. One day while their mom was busy in the kitchen, Ben and Bella went to her with this sign. "We're bored," they said. "We want to play outside," said Ben and Bella. "Well, you can't right now," said their mom. "Your dad and his friends are taking out old trees near the house, so our house will be FireSmart and safer when wildfire season comes in spring." Wildfire season. Climate change, Ben and Bella said, feeling afraid. "Nonsense," said their mom. "Wildfires are how the forest reseeds itself and starts a new generation of trees. Climate change is driven by the sun and oceans." "In fact," said their mom, "why don't you make that model of the solar system from the kit that your Uncle Bert gave you for Christmas? You can paint the different planets and make a model," said Mom. "There's even a quiz you could challenge each other on," said Mom. "I don't think the sun causes climate change," said Ben. "My teacher said it is caused by humans. Besides, look how puny the sun is in that solar system kit. It's like a baseball. That's all. Even up in the sky, the sun looks little," said Bella. "Ha, that's why it pays to read all the instructions," said Mom. "It says right on the box that the solar system is not to scale. Sun's 5-inch ball to scale would need to be 105 inches. "What?" Bella and Ben were in shock. "How tall is that, Mom?" asked Bella. "Well, if we do some basic math, 105 inches divided by 12 inches, which is equal to a foot. The sun ball would have to be 8 3/4 feet tall. More than 2 feet taller than your dad." "Wow," cried Ben and Bella. "The sun still doesn't look so big," said Ben. "And we're still bored," said Bella. "Well," said Mom, "why don't you just use your imagination and think up a story for yourselves? You've got a brain. Use it." "I know," said Ben. "What if Dad and his friend found the place where the Bigfoots live in our backyard?" "Once upon a time," said Bella, "there was a forest in the backyard of Ben and Bella's house," said Ben. "Lots of the old trees had to be cut down to prevent wildfire coming close to the house," said Bella. "And that's when something magic happened," said Ben. A baby Bigfoot appeared, a teeny tiny baby Bigfoot, then another baby Bigfoot, then a bigger Bigfoot, and another bigger Bigfoot, then the biggest Bigfoot, Papa Bigfoot, and then Mama Bigfoot appeared. "Papa, why don't you take the little Bigfoots for a walk while I make lunch?" she said. The little Bigfoots ran on ahead and clambered up an old tree stump. "We're the kings of the castle," they chanted. "Who is the king?" said Papa Bigfoot. "You are," shouted the baby Bigfoots with laughter. "Speaking of big things, look how small the sun is in the sky," said one of the bigger Bigfoots. "It looks like a baseball," said one of the baby Bigfoots. "But it's not. The sun is huge," said one of the bigger Bigfoots. "It is huge, but it looks so small because we are so far away," said Papa Bigfoot. "How far?" asked the baby Bigfoots. "It looks like a little orange dot in the sky," said a baby Bigfoot. "And Earth is a blue dot too," said the other baby Bigfoot. "You can't compare the Earth and sun that way," said a bigger Bigfoot. "Then how come it looks that way?" said the other bigger Bigfoot. "The sun is 93 million miles or 149 million kilometers from the Earth," said Papa Bigfoot. "Wow!" cried the baby and bigger Bigfoots. "But I can show you how it can seem that the Earth is as big as the sun," said Papa Bigfoot. "Let me get your mother's exercise ball," said Papa Bigfoot as he raced back to the Bigfoot den. "Now, let's pretend your mom's exercise ball is the sun, and that the blue map pin is the Earth," said Papa Bigfoot. "Wow, such a big difference," cried the baby and bigger Bigfoot kids. "But I can make them appear as the same size," said Papa Bigfoot. "Watch." Papa Bigfoot hopped across the yard and put Mama Bigfoot's exercise ball on top of a flower pot. From the flower pot, the ball looked very big. "The ball is still big," said a baby Bigfoot. Now, like magic, I will make it the size of this map pin we call Blue Dot Earth, said Papa Bigfoot. That's impossible. I don't believe it, Dad. You're just kidding us, right? Clamored the Bigfoot kids. I take my Blue Dot Earth and carefully line it up with the sun. And there you are. The same size, said Papa Bigfoot. Let me see, said the Bigfoot kids, one by one climbing up on Papa's shoulders to see. Hey, he did it! The exercise ball is still the same size. It is all just a matter of perspective and distance, said Papa Bigfoot. That's why many people think the sun has no effect on climate change. Why don't you kids curl up in my lap and I'll tell you something else about the sun, said Papa Bigfoot. Most people think the solar system has the sun in the middle and all the planets spin around it on a flat plane. But in reality, the sun is shooting through space like a bullet, and the planets are being dragged along behind it. The sun and the planets are all spinning and rotating, as well as being dragged along behind the sun in a dancing vortex of beauty and wonder. I never knew that, said all the Bigfoot kids in unison. Hey there, kids. Lunch is ready, called Mama Bigfoot. And what's my exercise ball doing out here in the yard? Everybody laughed. I'm hungry, said one of the bigger Bigfoots. Me too, said a baby Bigfoot as they hopped back home. Back to the Bigfoot den for dinner, said Papa Bigfoot. And the Bigfoots in the backyard disappeared. Lunch is ready, called Mom from the kitchen. What are you two laughing about? The Bigfoots, said Bella. In our backyard, said Ben. We had the best time with our imagination, Mom. We figured out the Earth just feels big, but it's tiny compared to the sun, said Ben and Bella. That's right, said Mom. So, the sun drives climate change, not just because it is big, but because of its many forces that affect things on Earth, like clouds, ocean currents, and long-term cyclical climate patterns. You're so smart, Mom, said Ben. And you too are so clever to dream up a story that made you laugh and made you learn something, said Mom. We love you, said Bella and Ben. And I love you too, said Mom. Now let's eat.
The sun is the main driver of climate change. Not you. Not CO2.